Hello there, and welcome to another episode of WOK Talk. I didn't have a fact about the walk prepared, but hmm, not sure now. I should really be more prepared ahead of time. I usually do think of something. uh, shit. I don't carry it enough. I may have mentioned before that I haven't carried it very far, but I need to carry this shield, this walk. I need to carry it more because I want it to hopefully inspire somebody that you can do things when you put your mind to it. Having said that, let's see if I can do some squats. These squats are to prepare to carry a pallet 50 miles. I'll be doing that on May 11th from Grand Prairie to Beaver Lodge and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a lot more energy compared to last time. Still mostly keeping up with the 100 squats a day. I cut back a little bit because I was getting a little bit of a sore knee on the left side, and I don't want to overdo it. But we are still making progress because I have gone from doing 3 hours of tiptoes on weekend days. I was doing 3 hours, but now on Saturday I did 4.5 hours, and on Sunday I did 4.5 hours of standing with my heels elevated, which is a really fun test of endurance. Sounds simple enough, but when you get to the hour mark, if you haven't really carefully changed your footing position and made sure that you've stretched out muscles equally on both sides, your feet will hurt. It really teaches you how to prioritize your weight on the pads of your feet. Um, and it's a great mental exercise. I just feel good after testing my endurance, but want to talk about absolute limits and setting raising the bar. What I aim to do with my endurance exercises is to continue doing them long after I carry the pallet, and I want to get back to my personal record of 17 hours standing on my tiptoes. I'm far away from getting back to that. And I would normally encourage people to test their limits, but do not do that. Um, that's kind of my hurdle to get over for myself, and it's not safe to do that for 17 hours. I blacked out at 17 hours, and so I'm trying to prepare myself to get to that point again. But I do not want to black out. I don't want my personal limit to be based on when I black out. Um, but I have never since tried to reattempt the 17-hour tiptoe. Um, but I feel my endurance returning, but that's just to let you know how far away I am from my absolute best endurance I've ever had. But I'm not going to say that's a good standard to go by because 17 hours was when things fell off. And so I'm happy with 4.5 hours. That's a good exercise for my calves as well as my feet. And that's the main thing I want to do. I'm just trying to take a break from squats on the weekend so I can recover uh, from doing the squats on the weekdays. Because we want to go forward, we don't want to go backwards. And the fact that I've gone from 3 hours to 4.5 hours lets me know that my endurance is increasing. But it does hurt. Those 3.5, when you go from 3 hours to 3.5 to 4 hours to 4.5, it's best not to watch the clock. I find it's best to find something to watch, like a whole season of something or part of a season of something, and just watch that while you keep your heels elevated, and eventually you can get through it. But you gotta not ignore your feet. You are paying attention to your feet and stretching them out and using different parts of your feet. You can put your weight on any part of your foot except your heel. So, experiment with that a little bit. I think it's a great exercise if you don't push yourself too far. And I have experimented with pushing myself too far. And that's the aim of the game with doing the squats with the shield is I want to be prepared for carrying the pallet 50 miles, and I want to barely feel it. I want to do it, and I want it to be difficult but not depleting. I want it just to be another exercise. I'm not training so that the pallet is the end all thing that I'm doing. That's just going to be another thing, and I'm going to continue on with my training to do other things in the future, whether it's just regular walks without the pallet, or maybe it'll be more carrying my shield, because my shield weighs a lot more than that pallet. So carrying that shield around town, my walk, as it were, um, that's the thing that I'm really training for in the long run. Is I want to be able to carry that sucker easily, and that should give me a good amount of endurance if I need to do other things. Because the beautiful thing about carrying something heavy is you can set it down, and then you have the extra energy of being prepared to carry a heavy weight, but now you're going without it. And so I would carry my walk for lost loved ones. I would carry that so I can carry it, but also so I can set it down and can move like the wind, hypothetically. Carry heavy things so you can walk faster without the heavy things. It's kind of the idea. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to race to an emergency extra quick? Because anybody could be in need, and Captain Canada should try to be fit enough to be able to help somebody. I mean, it might just be an old lady needs to go across the street, but I've seen some pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty bold jaywalkers out there. And so you never know when you might have to save somebody from getting hit by traffic, because I've seen people walk straight into traffic, and luckily they were all right. But holy, do some people take risks? So I was talking about raising the bar on my tiptoes. I want to talk about somebody else who raised the bar for weightlifting, and what it means to be world's strongest man. That's Eddie Hall. I've been listening to podcasts featuring him today, and he's been a big inspirational figure to me for a long time. He was half of the world's biggest boxing match, him versus Thor. Half Thor Bjornsson, I believe is his name. I don't relate to Thor as much because he is a literal giant with a giant frame, where Eddie Hall is a giant built on a smaller frame. But he does have an amazing superhuman potential within him, because he has myostatin. I believe he said he has myostatin deficiency. I don't know if that actually has been confirmed by anybody, but I would believe it just by the amount of muscle mass that he has. And myostatin deficiency is when your body doesn't produce, I believe it's a hormone, doesn't produce this stuff that basically regulates how big your muscles can grow. And when you have a deficiency in myostatin, there's nothing to hold your muscles back, and they just grow big even if you don't exercise. And so whether you're a giant or whether you have myostatin deficiency, those would be great mutations, if you want to use that term. So it'd be great physical traits to have to be a strong man, world's strongest man. And those are two gentlemen that have lived up to much their potential. But I just feel more of a connection to Eddie Hall, the Beast. Although Thor has accomplished quite a lot himself too. And he won the boxing match between them, but I just preferred Eddie Hall's strongman style, blast with all your power punching technique, because that was how a strongman devotes his strongman power to boxing looks like, where Thor just did fundamentals in boxing, which is like, yeah, you won him with fundamentals, but we weren't here for fundamentals. We were here for, I don't want to say a freak show, but I mean, like, we wanted to see the two biggest men hit each other as hard as they possibly fucking could. And I only felt that Eddie Hall was really blasting as hard as he possibly could, where Thor was more focused on just, fundamentals. But yeah, it would be nice if I could. I would love to find a way to contact Eddie Hall and let him know that he was a big inspiration of mine, especially when preparing to carry my pallet to Beaver Lodge and back. Because though he sets the standards for strength, and that's something I'll probably never be able to truly approach, I would like to think that maybe I could set the standard for endurance on some level that other people might think it's amazing to try to approach. But you can do it. You can be the world's strongest man. You can have endurance like Captain Canada. You just got to train it up. And maybe you're not even impressed by what Captain Canada does when you compare me to Eddie Hall, world's strongest man. I mean, they don't hand out those world's strongest man titles. Those are hard won. But yeah. I was going to mention a little bit more that I have been eating a lot more, kind of doing more for calorie intakes, but I am starting to worry that I'm going to increase my weight a little too much and increase my strength, but I don't want to lose on my endurance, and so I have to do more practical walking and doing stuff with my muscles instead of just doing squats and training them stationary. I need to get out there in the world and make sure everything's working, and at the same time not train to the point where I'm wearing myself out. I'll just leave it at that. And yeah, I'm Captain Canada. You might know me as Joseph Arthur Roszell. I want to thank you for watching. I want to wish you all luck in the world. I love you. I love you. And I want you to know that suicide is never the answer. Peace out for now.